start with the journey of the Indian Plate. Millions of years ago, the land we now call India was an island, drifting alone across a vast ocean. Then it slammed into the Eurasian Plate with enough force to swallow the sea between them and buckle the Earth's crust upward. Look at this image of the Himalayas. This massive new wall of rock did something entirely unexpected. It trapped the passing oceanic winds. The resulting torrential rains, the very first monsoons, washed over the barren rock, transforming the subcontinent into a dense river-fed jungle. By about 1.5 million years ago, this lush environment attracted a formidable apex predator. Our ancient ancestor, Homo erectus, walked fully upright into the subcontinent, hunting massive prey like the stegodon, a colossal relative of the elephant equipped with 10-foot tusks. If you walked through these ancient jungles, you wouldn't survive on wet. In this specific ecosystem, physical size and brute, unyielding strength were the absolute only currencies that mattered. Homo erectus fit perfectly into this brutal world. They possessed thick, muscular bodies built like elite athletes, heavy jaws, and arms powerful enough to wield pear-shaped stone hand axes to bludgeon their massive prey. But they harbored a fatal biological blind spot. Lacking complex language, they couldn't coordinate long-term strategies. They lived entirely in the present, consuming what they killed that day, completely unable to plan for tomorrow. Then, 74,000 years ago, a time bomb went off in Indonesia. The Toba supervolcano erupted, blasting a thick cloud of toxic ash across the ocean. The sky blacked out, and a deep, sudden volcanic winter settled over the Indian jungle. The sudden freeze killed off the vegetation, and the giant herbivores quickly starved. Homo erectus was suddenly trapped. Their massive, muscular frames burned enormous amounts of energy. Without giant prey to sustain them, their caloric needs became impossible to meet. The very muscle mass that made them so physically dominant became the evolutionary anchor that dragged them into extinction. They starved in the dark, leaving the subcontinent completely empty. This coastline shows the harsh, arid routes migrating humans had to navigate. Back in Africa, the lingering chill of the volcanic winter was drying out the continent, forcing a different, physically smaller human species, Homo sapiens, to begin a desperate, multi-generational migration along the coastlines toward the east. Around 65,000 years ago, these weary travelers finally reached the Indian subcontinent. The ash had settled, and the rivers were flowing again. But the jungles were swarming with surviving predators like giant tigers, and these new humans were woefully outmatched in a physical fight. Sleeping out in the open meant certain death, so they used observation and logic. In the dense center of the country, they found the Bhimbetka rock shelters. They recognized these natural stone formations as ready-made fortresses, creating humanity's first secure homes. They reinforced these walls of stone with walls of fire. A blazing hearth at the cave mouth functioned as a security system that no tiger would dare approach. More importantly, the fire extended their daylight hours, creating a safe, illuminated hub where they could sit together and share information. Because they knew they were physically weak, they stopped acting as solitary hunters. They pooled their observations, organized guard rotations, and relied entirely on community planning to survive the perilous night. You can see the technological leap in this diagram. You can't hit a fast-moving rabbit or a flying bird with a heavy stone hand axe, so they engineered microliths, tiny razor-sharp blades. By gluing these miniature lethal stones onto the tips of wooden shafts, they invented spears and arrows that could strike fast prey from a safe distance. They also engineered a social contract. If a hunter brought down a deer, they didn't eat it alone. They distributed the meat to the entire group. This sharing economy acted as an insurance policy, guaranteeing that even on days when a hunter missed his mark, no one in the tribe starved. This rock painting shows their minds stretching beyond mere survival. They began translating the physical world into abstract symbols. By painting their hunts and prey onto the cave walls, they engaged in magical thinking, attempting to exert control over the chaotic world outside. Then, in places like modern-day Uttar Pradesh, we find evidence that their thinking had moved into the abstract. They began burying their dead carefully in dug graves, placing spears, jewelry, and meat right beside the bodies. They were outfitting their loved ones for a journey beyond death. The giants of the past tried to outmuscle the jungle and failed. Homo sapiens survived by recognizing their physical limits and inventing technology, economics, and religion to bridge the gap. For millions of years, our ancient ancestors were constantly on the move, chasing food. But that came to a sudden halt roughly 9,000 years ago. Humans made the crucial observation that a discarded seed would sprout into a plant. They realized they could orchestrate their own food supply right from the soil. Look at this sprawling, fertile river valley. Agriculture tied humans to specific locations. They stopped wandering and began building permanent mud brick villages along these predictable water sources. For the first time in history, humans knew exactly where their next meal was coming from. Securing a predictable food supply created a consistent surplus of time, which they redirected toward organizing a society. This diagram illustrates the precision of the Indus Valley Civilization 5,000 years ago. Engineers laid out their cities on perfect 90-degree grids, and every single construction brick followed a strict mathematical ratio of 4:2:1. You can see their obsession with public health in structures like the Great Bath. They engineered covered drainage systems, complete with manholes to clear blockages. They even waterproofed the massive bricks of this bathing complex using natural bitumen, effectively building an ancient smart city. The deep archaeological trench you're looking at right here is from Sonali. Inside, excavators found solid copper swords and the remains of two-wheeled chariots. It proves that the societal organization that began in the Indus Valley continuously escalated into complex, highly specialized metallurgy and warfare. The early humans of India didn't inherit the land because they were the biggest or the strongest predators. They inherited it because their immense physical vulnerability forced them to outthink an apocalypse, utilizing observation and community to build a deeply resilient civilization from the ashes up.